All right, here we go. Our next lesson on this with Miss Amanda Deneau. We had a good conversation on a safety event, and now let's talk about another event you did. I'll let you take it from here.
You got it. So we did a Christmas community event, and this was just a couple weeks ago here in December. The focus was a nonprofit. We did the Salvation Army. Now, you can use any type of nonprofit within your area, but being able to focus it in on a nonprofit, whether it's a children's hospital, whether it's a food pantry, or the Salvation Army, again, it just gives you a different feel within the community that you're trying to give back and you're helping others. And having to be a nonprofit too is also a key part of being able to get more resources and donations.
More support, yeah,
for the support. So that was something new that we did, and it was a really cool avenue of it. For our Christmas community event, we had Santa Claus and we had live reindeer. Now this event, having live reindeer, I'm just going to state, I mean, you know, it was expensive to bring in live reindeer. I mean, you're looking at $1,400 to have reindeer at this event.
Right.
Live reindeer was awesome. It was a great, you know, focus point for people to come in and see these live reindeer. But when I first brought up this idea to my husband, he was like, yeah, not over my dead body, you're not going to have.
Yeah, no, you ain't getting $1,400 for reindeer from Jeff Deneau.
So,
I don't even know if you could get it for heart surgery from Jeff Deneau.
So when I hear my husband says, you know, no, I just think, okay, how can I make that work still? So we got into thinking of, how can I get somebody else to pay for this? And we put the main focus on the Salvation Army, which is a great image for our party school. It wasn't just about me, taking money, taking new students, but giving back into the community. So being able to put that focus on a nonprofit, I was able to go into the community and ask for donations to put this awesome event on for the Salvation Army. So we went to, you know, our bank, we went to, you know, law firms, we went to, you know, even like businesses like a Sam's Club, Costco, and asked for donations for this Salvation Army event. And they gave us money for it, and they didn't even blink about it. They're like, oh, yeah, sounds good. You know, here's $100, here's $500. Oh, cool. What else can we donate for? Because it was the Salvation Army. So it was a great way for us to connect. And they also gave us money too to sponsor, to put the event on, because it was for the nonprofit. Now, what kind of turned around was, like Sam's Club, they would write a check or they would give us money for it, and then would be donated to the Salvation Army. So all the funds have to go from the bank, and they have to, you know, directly deposit to the Salvation Army, and then the Salvation Army would then send the check out for the reindeer or for the Santa Claus. But we were able to get all of this, you know, to fund the event. So even though we had this huge Christmas event going on, and we logged over 500 people that came through that day, and these were some of the signs that we had go out, the flyers in the community, the Toys for Tots, the you know, the food drive that came in as well. All of this that we had to, you know, have funds to put on, it was all, you know, all funded by the donation that came through.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And so you really accomplished a couple different things. First off, you really established and positioned yourself in the community as givers.
Yes.
Secondly, but through your efforts, and you can put your effort to it, and then generate the funds for the community, and to put this thing on for them. It's a win for everybody. Your sponsors they look good in the community.
Exactly.
You do the event, and people. Now you've talked about two different events now: a safety event and a winter event, the Salvation Army event. Both are from a position of giving back to the community. Nothing about that says come to my school and give me money free by black. Now, obviously it's working because you have an incredibly successful school, highly profitable. You've got 400 plus students in your after school. So you're doing extremely well, and it's paying off financially. But what I found over the last few years is when people try to do it from a taking position, they're just trying to enroll as many students as they can, cash them out, spin that whole system. That has a lid on it. When you come from a giving standpoint, not only is it right, not only is it good for the community, in the end, it makes a heck of a lot more money, and it's a stable dollar. You're not worrying about having to enroll a lot of people, because out of your 400, you lose very few. You've got a very high retention rate. And that gives you, what does that give you? Lack of stress. It gives you peace. You're not worried about, I've got to run this big marketing machine to bring in all these people. You can do it from a position of community and build over time. Now, if anybody asks, that is not me. Not that deal. So, but anyway, well, on that, let's talk some more about this. But I went, what do they call that, sidebar on you on that?
It's all good.
But if people will just start being givers, it comes back 5 times over.
It's so true, because it's your image in the community, and you want to, portray that you are givers in the community, and you're trying to help students. You're trying to, better their lives. Empower these kids, and doing these community service events, it also helps your students too, because we took a lot of volunteers within our school, our Black Belts. It gave them a chance to volunteer and step up and rise up in a leadership position at the same time.
Right.
An example of the staff that I had that day that actually paid to be a part of that event. So, and you had, 5 other people that, I paid for this huge event that went on. Everything else was just, straight up volunteers for these events too. So you don't have to think I have to have 20, 30 people to, make this happen. I had parents, I had Black Belts, I had a ton of people that helped out with it. And the people that were there that day, they were more or less working my front counter, taking their registration information, of their email address, their names, and so on, so they could go into my email base for future funnels and so on.
Right. Well, your average martial arts school would absolutely kill for 1,000 people to come through your door a year. I mean, that's 80 walk-ins a month, if you want to advertise it that way. I mean, what a spectacular way to present yourself to the community. Then I'm sure we couldn't get these stats, but an interesting stat would be, out of just those 2 events, the 1,000 people, the number who start martial arts lessons at your school versus another school.
Yeah.
I'll bet you it's almost zero, that anybody out of that 1,000 that was going to start martial arts lessons is going to start them at your martial arts school, unless there's something to do with location or something along that line. So, you've positioned yourself as givers, and it's working, and it's the right thing to do. That's the point here.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk more about this event then. What else did you do at it?
So with
about 5 more minutes, Amanda.
Okay, sounds good. You hit another point too of the people that enroll from it, and it's not always just brand new people that enroll from it, but we also had a couple instances from the safety event and even the Christmas event too, of people that had been with us, maybe like a year or 2 back, and maybe they were little ninjas for whatever reason, they stopped lessons, and they're like, oh, hey, community event, they came back in, and they were blown like, oh my gosh, we have to sign back up, what's better in our schedule now, we're done with whatever, their family event was going on, and we can start lessons again, and people have now signed up for Black Belt team programs and so on that were old students that had then come back. So it's not always just a brand new student, but we had siblings that also enrolled from it too, that they're thinking, oh yeah, just it's in the forefront of their mind from some of this. Another thing I want to hit on is the networking within your school. These 2 events that we're talking about, the safety event and the Christmas community event, they're big events that were put on, but really thinking of how you can utilize the people within your school, that networking. I hit on that a little bit ago, but to really think about your student base and the parents that are within your school, whether it's a restaurant next door or whether it's a car dealership across the street, whatever you can do to really bring that benefit into your school, and what can they talk about, what can they do to advertise, to network that back and forth. We do a ton of networking. We have a school across the street from us that is a Mexican restaurant, and We've done a lot of promotions within, you know, a Mexican restaurant across the street too, just thinking about different ways to promote your school and do that type of stuff. But the big thing is, again, getting back to these special events, you got to always be pushing some type of external event, whether it's a Valentine's Day pass, whether it's a Halloween pass, a Facebook ad, but it doesn't always mean you're going to get 500 new students from this type of event right the first time, but
Right.
they trickle over time too. And you've got to always be marketing, you've got to always be putting yourself out there, because people, it might not be the perfect time for them to enroll that day, but they'll come back to you because you are such a resource. You have such a good image in your community. And that's something that Jeff and I have really worked hard in order to get that image in the community, that we are such a positive, family-friendly, facility, and that people see us getting back and doing all these things, that they don't even consider anybody else. We're the go-to place for that.
Sure. Now, didn't you do something a few months back with your church, and you had a huge show up? How many kids? Some massive thing there?
Oh, it was awesome. We had over 300 kindergarten, first and second graders that came to a church event, and we sponsored the boards for a board breaking event, but we brought in the ties of being respectful and having self-discipline. And so we brought all of our instructors in uniforms. We have pictures of that too. And it was awesome because every single board was stamped with our website, was, stamped with information about our school, and it went out. And again, it's being a resource in the community, whether it's a church, whether it's a Boy Scout, event, whatever it could be. And whatever you can do to get your name out there, the school dances, festivals that are going on, you just got to constantly be promoting.
Right. And so if these people get on their community, like their Chamber of Commerce site, they can look for upcoming events.
Sure.
We've gone to here in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin, we go to the school district website, and you can go on there. You can go to each individual school. They should be joining all the school parent-teacher organizations on Facebook and keeping track of what's going on that way. And just, again, I think it comes, a lot of the answers come to you when you come from a position of giving. How can I help my community? Yeah. Instead of how can I get 10 new students this week?
Yeah.
And this type of community marketing, this type of business system, which you're doing with 400 students, Matt Schaefer's doing it with 400 students, Jeff Cork's doing it with 400 students. We know it works. But it doesn't work in 30 days. And people need to know that this is a process. Like, there's nothing that happens really fast and easy that lasts long. It just is not done that way. So taking the marathon look at this as opposed to the sprint, and say, I'm going to keep throwing those acorns in the bucket, and pretty soon you have a huge bucket and a very, very successful program. And it's something that you can be proud of, because you're looked at as a community resource instead of a business that's marketing within your town. And that's a completely different animal. And that's one of the main reason you guys are doing so well. There's a lot of other stuff up there, and you've been nice enough to open your doors, let people in, see what's going on in your school, see exactly how you do it. And we sure thank you for being a giver and sharing through this Fast 50. We've got, I think we've got about 75 schools that are going through the program right now, and it's going to be anxious. I'm really interested to see who's going to take action, who's going to take these proven steps and grow by 50. I'm going to come up with some kind of reward for the ones that do. I'm not sure what it'll be, but it'll be cool. So any final thoughts before we lock this up?
No, I think we hit on a lot of good stuff.
Okay. Well, once again, thank you for your time. And Miss Amanda Deneau, thanks again, and we'll see you soon. I'll see you. Are you coming to Cozumel?
I'm not. I have to stay back with the 3 kids, but you'll see my husband.
I'll see your husband down there then. All right. Thank you very much.
No problem. Bye.
Bye. 3, 2, 1. We're out. Cool. Now.